Welcome to the Soul Medicine Podcast with Dr. Laura Brenes, a space where we explore healing through the body, the mind, the soul, and the spirit. Have you ever looked back and realized that somewhere along the way, you stopped truly experiencing your life? You were living it, checking the boxes, crossing things off your to do list, moving from one responsibility to the next, but you weren't really there. Your body was present, but your mind was already thinking about tomorrow, or replaying yesterday, or worrying what might happen next. I know that feeling because I lived there for a very long time. For years, my nervous system lived in survival mode. I was incredibly productive. I could solve problems, take care of everyone around me, push through exhaustion, keep going no matter what. From the outside, it probably looked like I had it all together. But looking back now, I realize I wasn't really experiencing my life. I was surviving it. And I think so many of us do this without even realizing it. We tell ourselves we'll slow down after this project, after this season, when the kids get older, when work becomes less stressful, when life feels easier. But life keeps moving. The sunsets come and go, our children grow, the conversations become memories. And before we know it, we've rushed through the moments we can never get back. One of the greatest gifts my healing journey has given me hasn't just been learning how to regulate my nervous system. It hasn't only been listening to my body or learning to trust myself. It has given me something I never expected. It has changed the way I experience my life. Not because everything is perfect, not because I'm symptom free, because I most certainly am not, but because I'm finally present enough to truly live it. Over the past couple of weeks, I stepped away from creating, I stepped away from recording, I stepped away from producing, and instead, I stepped back into my life. As I look back on those weeks, I realize something has changed, not the circumstances around me, the way I was moving through them. And that's what I want to share with you today, because I believe this may be one of the greatest gifts healing has to offer. One of the things I've realized over this past year is that healing doesn't always announce itself in dramatic ways. Sometimes it quietly reveals itself in the ordinary moments, the moments you almost miss because they're so simple. As I look back over the past few weeks, I realize just how much has changed. The first part of my break took me to California to celebrate one of my dearest friends' birthdays. We live several states apart, so whenever we're able to be together, it feels like such a gift to my soul. This trip looked very different than trips I'd taken in the past. Traveling with a disability requires more planning, more flexibility, more humility, and perhaps hardest of all, it requires asking for help. There was a time when asking for assistance felt embarrassing to me. I believed I should be able to do everything on my own, that accepting help somehow meant I was weak or that I was inconveniencing other people. But healing has changed that. I've learned that accepting help isn't giving up, it's honoring where I am today. It's allowing other people the opportunity to care for us the way we've so often cared for everyone else. And this time, I accepted that help with grace, not because it was easy, but because I no longer measure my worth by how much I can carry on my own. That realization felt incredibly freeing. As we explored the vineyards of Napa Valley, walked beneath the towering redwood trees, and stood overlooking the Pacific Ocean, I felt something I hadn't experienced in a very long time. It was as though my body and my soul had finally exhaled. There was something about being surrounded by nature that reminded me how healing it could be. The vineyard stretched endlessly across the hills. The ancient redwoods stood with a quiet wisdom that can only come from centuries of simply being. The ocean moved with its familiar rhythm, asking nothing of me except to be present. I wasn't rushing the next destination. I wasn't wondering what I should be doing. I wasn't feeling guilty for resting. I simply allowed myself to be there, to breathe deeply, to notice, to receive. One afternoon while I was away, my body let me know it had enough. A year ago, I probably would have pushed through, partly because I didn't want to miss out. But if I'm being honest, it was also the people pleaser in me. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want to be the one who needed to rest. I would have convinced myself that I can keep going, that I'd rest later, that everyone else's experience mattered more than my body's needs. But healing has changed that. It has taught me that honoring my body isn't selfish, it's wise. It has taught me to listen when my body whispers so it no longer has to scream. So I rested without guilt, without apologizing, without feeling like I had to earn it. And what surprised me most was that I didn't feel like I was missing out. I realized that honoring my body actually allowed me to be more present for everything that followed. When I came home, our house was already filled with family. Family had come up from Florida, including my son, his wife, and our two beautiful granddaughters who are 2 and 4 years old. The house was filled with laughter, little footsteps running through the rooms, conversations around the table, and the beautiful kind of chaos that comes when people you love gather under one roof. Several family members asked me after if I was exhausted, if the house had felt chaotic, or if I couldn't wait for everyone to leave. And honestly, I smiled because that wasn't my experience at all. What surprised me most wasn't the busyness, it was how present I felt. I found myself with my granddaughters curled up on my lap while we colored together, splashing with them in the pool, laughing as a family while we played card games around the table, and simply soaking in the ordinary moments that so often become memories we treasure most. As I reflected on those days, I realized something had shifted. Healing my nervous system and healing my inner child has changed the way I relate to the people I love. I'm no longer living so much in survival mode. I'm no longer leading with the constant urgency that once kept me in my masculine energy, always doing, fixing, anticipating, producing. Instead, I've become more available, more open, more playful, more present. Not because life became quieter, but because I became quieter. And when we become quieter, we finally begin to hear life again. We notice the laughter. We notice the conversations around the table. We notice little hands reaching for ours. We notice the ordinary moments that one day become our most treasured memories. I've realized that healing isn't necessarily about resolving my symptoms. It's about learning to honor my body, to live alongside what I cannot yet change, and to expand my capacity to experience joy anyway. And to me, that might be one of the greatest gifts healing has given me. Healing isn't just changing the way we feel, it's changing the way we experience life. And maybe that's what healing really is, not waiting for life to become perfect, but learning to fully experience the life that's here today. Maybe healing isn't measured only by symptoms improving. Maybe it's measured by how deeply you laugh, how fully you love, how often you notice the sunset, how easily you ask for help, how gently you speak to yourself, how present you become for the people you love. Because in the end, I don't think we're healing simply so we can survive life. I think we're healing so we can finally experience it. Before we close today, I wanted to share something with you. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be taking a short pause from releasing new episodes, not because I don't have more to share, but because I want to continue living the very message we've explored together throughout this season. To honor my body, to honor my boundaries, to spend unhurried time with the people I love, to continue choosing presence over productivity, because healing isn't just something we learn, it's something we practice. And sometimes the most healing thing we can do is simply be fully present for the life that's unfolding right in front of us. This episode marks the conclusion of season 1 of Soul Medicine with Dr. Laura Brenes. What an incredible journey it's been. Together, we've explored nervous system regulation, learning to feel safe, grief, uncertainty, self trust, and what it truly means to return home to yourself. I hope these conversations have met you exactly where you needed them. As I take a short pause over the next few weeks, I'll also be preparing for something I'm incredibly excited to share with you. Season 2 will take us into the next phase of the healing journey. We'll explore embodiment, intuition, living in alignment, and learning to trust yourself in deeper ways. Before season 2 begins, I'd love to invite you to continue this journey with me through the soul medicine method. While we've touched on many of these topics throughout season 1 of the podcast, this course is where we go much deeper. Together, we'll move beyond simply understanding these concepts and begin experiencing them. You'll learn not just what nervous system regulation is, but how to practice it. Not just why self trust matters, but how to cultivate it. Not just what it means to feel safe, but how to create that safety within yourself. This is an 8-module self paced experience designed to help you understand your nervous system, reconnect with your intuition, strengthen self trust, and return home to yourself. Each module includes a guided lesson, a downloadable workbook, and a powerful activation or meditation to help you integrate the practice. Because healing isn't meant to be rushed, transformation happens through integration. This isn't simply a course to complete, it's an experience to live. For a limited time, the Soul Medicine Method is available at a special Founders Members price located in my Stand store. The link is available down in the show notes. If you'd like to be among the first to join this journey, I'd also love to invite you to join my mailing list using the link in the show notes. You'll be the first to hear when enrollment opens, receive details about the founding member pricing before it ends, and be the first to know about everything that's coming up next. I'd be honored to continue this healing journey with you. Before I go, I wanted to leave you with one final thought. Life isn't waiting for the perfect moment to begin. It's unfolding right now. In the laughter around your table, in the sunset outside your window, in the quiet moments you almost rush past. My hope for you is that you give yourself permission to slow down, to notice, to receive, and to remember that the ordinary moments are often the ones that become the most extraordinary memories. Until we meet again, I hope you notice the sunset. I hope you laugh a little longer. I hope you rest before you're exhausted. I hope you honor your body's whispers. I hope you put down your phone once in a while and soak up the ordinary moments that become life's greatest treasures. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. And remember, be gentle with yourself. You are already whole. You are already worthy. You are so deeply loved. It is safe now to return home to yourself. I'll meet you there. I'm Dr. Laura Brenes, and this is Soul Medicine. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and does not establish a doctor-patient relationship. please continue to work with your own medical professionals for individualized care.